I'm being joined on the news at 10 now by the president of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Francis Faduyile. He joins us from our studio in Abuja. Dr. Faduyile, thank you for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
We do appreciate your being here. Nigeria's population, we understand, is not what it used to be. It's evident. At independence, would you say there's been a corresponding growth between medical facilities and population growth?
Well, I think it's good for us to examine how well we are putting things in place to support the population growth. Population growth cannot just be left alone without putting more funding into the health industry or health sector so as to be able to complement the increase in the number of people that will have access to these health facilities. What we have had been that government has largely, in all the three tiers of government, they have largely abandoned healthcare system, and it has been left at that rudimentary level that it had been before independence. Unfortunately, because we had much more people who need to access health, it has made it very difficult for us to be able to improve, to be able to have much more people to be taken care of. And this had caused a lot of havoc in our health sector that we have seen from the period of our independence up to today. For example, in the last 5, 10, 15 years, I can tell you the amount budgeted for health has been abysmally low, between 3 and 4%, whereas in 2010, when African head of states met in Abuja, it was stated that at least 15% must be budgeted for health for the African continent to be able to take care of health of its citizens. And
right.
One thing that was done in Nigeria, Nigeria has never in any way done anything to support that. But that is for the federal government.
But how can, sorry, Dr. Faduyile, how can that be reversed? Because you're saying a lot of things at the moment. You're talking about more patients to the ratio of doctor to patients. You have 1 doctor to 600 patients. We also have the ratio of 1 doctor to over 4,000 patients in some instances. And yet the country is also faced with a brain drain. How do we reverse these?
Like I was saying before, I had said that the major problem we have is at the state level and the local government level. The state governments have totally abandoned health. They prefer to have hospitals that are being opened than to have medical personnel, health workers in place. We have so many places that we do not have enough medical personnel in that place. And again, we have a lot of health workers that are yearning to be employed, but once there are no spaces that are open to them, certainly they will find somewhere to go and take care of themselves. And if we are talking about doctor-patient relationship, where we'll be looking most at what we see in the urban area. In the rural areas, we can have more than 1 to 20,000, even up to 30,000, which is very alarming for the health system in this country. One thing we need to do is the government improving its funding towards education, which will make us produce more health workers, and to improve its funding towards health ministry, so that we can open more spaces. The most important place we need to work on is at the primary healthcare level. What most of us discuss is at the tertiary health level, and majority of Nigeria, over 80% of Nigeria, we actually need to assess health at the primary care level, and that is not functional in this country, and that is the unfortunate thing. And we need the state government, we need the local government to key into believing that we need to improve health. Everybody looks at the federal government. Although what federal government does is not good enough, but what is happening at the state and local government is the worst of all. And again, we have found out that out-of-pocket payment for health cannot improve health. We need health insurance scheme to be fully mandatory for all Nigerians so that they can access qualitative health at the right time. And we have good thing that the National Assembly has done. They have repealed the NHIS, they have enacted another one waiting. The bill is on the table of the president, waiting for to be assented to. And we are believing the president should make this as one of the independence celebration to sign it so that every Nigeria we have to partake in the National Health Insurance Scheme so that we can have enough funding to taking care of Nigerians.
And that's where we leave it tonight. Dr. Francis Faduyile, thank you so much for speaking with us on the News at 10.